Welcome to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, Tim Wood. Tim is a retirement and income specialist, certified financial fiduciary, and the founder of SafeMoneyRetirement.com. Tim primarily serves Western North Carolina, East Tennessee, and Southwest Virginia, but he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Wood is a licensed life insurance professional in multiple states and specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who have already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies using life, health, long-term care, and annuity insurance products. And now, here to talk with you about securing your retirement, your host, Tim Wood.
Welcome to the Safe Money Retirement Show. I'm Tim Wood, an asset and retirement protection and guaranteed income specialist. The way our parents and grandparents retired is vastly different from what we've got today. Most of them had a pension if they worked at a company for a really long time, and when they retired from that company, they got that pension, which basically guaranteed them income payments for the rest of their lives. But now with the amount of companies out there that offer pension going down and down and down, and the last figures I saw was it's actually down into the single digits of companies as far as percentage of companies that still offer pensions. What can you do? How can you guarantee that you have a lifetime income when pensions are just basically a dying breed? How can you have a safe retirement plan in a pensionless world? First, if you don't already have a copy of my book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, you owe it to yourself to get a copy. We will send you one absolutely free, no charge, no obligation. It's going to explain exactly what I'm going to talk about real quick right now, but it's going to go into depth about how these plans work and how you can basically create your own pension. We'll send you a copy absolutely free. Just log on to our website, safemoneyretirement.com, or give us a call anytime, 833-413-SAFE. All right. Now, again, when we were younger, and we were looking at how our parents and grandparents retired, a lot of them had pensions. They basically would work for one company for a long time, which that's one thing that doesn't happen much anymore, but that's another subject. But they would work for one company for a long time, and then when they retired, they would get a pension from that company that would guarantee them a set amount of money for the rest of their lives. So what can you do to basically get kind of that same effect in a retirement when you don't have a pension from your current company? Well, first I want to talk real quick about the differences between now and how things used to be. So for those of you that are watching the video version of this segment, you can see this is how things used to be. You can see it right here below me. In the past, what we're looking at is we're actually looking at a pyramid, and the base of the pyramid, by far the biggest for people in the past, how they were planning their retirement, was their pension. So the most was the pension. And then on top of that is Social Security, that along with the pension. And then the very top of the pyramid, which is the smallest part, is the nest egg. Well, what's happened now, and actually for those of you that are listening to the audio, what I'm showing is actually a slide out of the Don't Worry, Retire Happy webinar that we do every single Thursday. You can register for that right on our website, safemoneyretirement.com. But now the pyramid is literally inverted, where now the nest egg is on top in the biggest part, Social Security is in the middle, and pension is at the bottom, because if you do have one, it's probably pretty small, and most of you listening don't have one. So again, what can you do to basically overcome this flip-flop of the way things used to be? Well, what you can do is there are plans out there. Y'all hear me talk about them all the time. There are plans out there that you can deposit a lump sum, or that you can start with a smaller lump sum and keep dumping money into, and in the future, or it could start immediately, but at some point in the future then, that's going to start paying you a guaranteed lifetime stream of income you can never, ever, ever outlive. So that's one of the things that we want to look at is essentially what you're doing is you're creating your own pension. So companies may not offer it, but companies may offer a 401k or a 403b if you work for a government agency, or a TSP, or you may have an IRA or whatever your invested money is in. You can take some or however much of that you decide you want to do, and you can move that into a guaranteed lifetime income annuity with a top-rated life insurance company. And what that's going to do is essentially that's going to mimic how a pension worked. This is how you can retire in a pensionless world as if you had a pension. So let's just take an example. Let's say you had $500,000 in an IRA. Well, what we would do is we would sit down, and that's one of the reasons I do a full fact finder with my clients. We don't just jump into things. We're going to look and see, okay, where are your expenses at now? Okay, where is your income at now? What's your income going to be at Social Security? And determine when we're going to turn that on. And then the first thing we want to do is make sure you're going to have enough income at retirement to cover your basic expenses. So that's the first plan we're going to do. We're going to put you into a plan that, along with Social Security and any pensions, if you've got any, will get you enough to guarantee that you've got enough of a paycheck when you retire to cover your expenses. That's step one. But now we need to make this inflation proof. And the way that we can do that is we can add on some additional policies that just continue to grow and continue to grow and continue to grow. And you can turn them on at some point in the future, and they're just going to continue to grow until you turn them on. But you can start them with a relatively small amount because you've already know you've got most of your expenses covered with the initial product that we do. So what you need something that if, inflation, the COLA on Social Security doesn't cover inflation enough, or you get extra bills or whatever, and you need just a little bit more, you can turn one of those plans on. And then, 5-10 years after that, you need a little bit more, you can turn another of those plans on. That is how you can have a pension-like retirement in a pensionless world, is by essentially creating your own personal pension by taking, usually most people just take a lump sum out of what they've saved. Like I said, 401, IRA, doesn't matter where it's coming from. Those are all the same type of plans. Can be Roth, can be non-qualified, can just come from a checking account, after-tax type of account. Doesn't matter where the money's coming from. And that's one of the things that we would determine in the fact finder appointment, is determining exactly what's going to make the most sense as far as where the money's coming from and how we're going to do it and all that kind of stuff. But basically, get the money moved over. There will be no tax consequence to you once the money is moved. You won't have to worry about any of the taxes until you're taking the money out. If there are taxes, of course, if it's a Roth or non-qualified, non-qualified will have very minimal taxes. Roth won't have any as long as it's been open for 5 years. Again, that's something that we can discuss on each individual person to find out what's going to be best for you specifically. But essentially, we're taking money out of a current plan where it is, especially if it's in an at-risk account. Because remember, everything we do here at Safe Money Retirement has no chance of losses, period. No matter what happens in the market. There's no market event that can make any product that we offer at Safe Money Retirement lose a penny. That's a fact, because everything we do is fixed. We also are independent, so we'll show you all of your options. So we'll sit down, we'll figure out exactly what you need to do, put you in the best plan, and essentially allow you to have a pension like your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents had, but be able to do that in today's current age and know you've got enough, and we can set it up to where it has 100% survivorship for your spouse. So when you pass, your spouse still gets the same amount. This is what I'm talking about. This is how you can guarantee a safe money retirement for yourself, and how you can really enjoy your retirement in a pensionless world. Since I have to take a break, now would be a great time to call for your complimentary copy of my book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success. My number is 833-413-SAFE. That's 833-413-7233. Isn't it time to stop exposing your retirement to market risk? You're listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show with Tim Wood.
If you were born between 1946 and 1964, you're part of an unprecedented generation of 76 million Americans known as the baby boomers. Have you taken steps to secure your retirement future with options to limit the loss of your principal retirement funds from market risk while utilizing key tax advantages? Why not ease the burden of transfer of funds to your heirs and insulate your money from the shocks of an increasingly volatile world economy? Give yourself and your family peace of mind and certainty that your retirement funds may have the opportunity to accumulate without the risk of market loss. So call now, 833-413-SAFE. That's 833-413-7233. It's time to start being safe. Call now for a complimentary copy of the Safe Money Retirement Book and Information Kit. Once again, our number is 833-413-SAFE. That's 833-413-7233. You're listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, Tim Wood.
Thank you for tuning in to the Safe Money Retirement Show. I'm Tim Wood, a market risk mitigation specialist helping clients with retirement money preservation and income planning. In today's case file, we're going to look at Jeff and Jenny's situation. Now, Jeff and Jenny were both in their mid-50s, and they weren't quite ready to make changes to their retirement plan, but they did have a big concern, and that was neither of them had any life insurance, and they had 3 kids, and they wanted to make sure that their children were taken care of once they're gone. They had found me just doing a web search. When we got together, we started looking at several options for them because obviously on the life insurance side, there are a lot of different options. What we actually finally determined for them was that a permanent whole life policy that covers both of them and will pay the death benefit after the last one of them is gone was a perfect fit. This is called a last to die policy. So this policy allows them to build up a sizable cash value in the years to come, which they can use as a living benefit for long-term care or as a source of tax-free income. Now, these benefits, combined with the fact that this is permanent policy that will be there the rest of their lives, is exactly what they were looking for. And this basically what they were delighted with their decision, have peace of mind for the future now. And we're going to get together again with them in a few years to look at their retirement accounts. But this helped put this particular piece of the puzzle together for them, knowing that their kids were going to be taken care of. Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulate while reducing exposure to market loss. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Tim Wood reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
You've been listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, Tim Wood. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe from market losses and that you have an income you can't outlive so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call Tim Wood now for your complimentary Safe Money Retirement Book and Information Kit at 833-413-SAFE. That's 833-413-7233. Or request your copy of Tim's book online at safemoneyretirement.com. The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or in a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. Fees may apply. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the insurance company. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified and licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are just taking the first step towards protecting your retirement. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program are subject to change without notice.